Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Well, you don't want to see that preview there. Welcome to the show. One host, Brandon Bullet B, joined by, actually, another host, Bill Mack from Pro Wrestling Unleashed, if you're watching from his channel, and my WWE Report, if you're watching from my channel. How you gals and gals and girls doing? Guys and gals. I don't know because there's these SJWs with these pronouns, so you can't like transgender people. So
how about you all?
yeah, because like these transgender people are SJW transgender people are born a boy, transgender wants to be a girl. Okay, and then she says, "Well, I identify with both. I'm a boy and a girl. So don't call me him or she or her. You call me them." I'm like, okay, mental health, knock, knock. But, yeah, I mean, I used to call my ex-girlfriend that because she was, she had split personalities. And somebody say, well, where's your girlfriend at, Brandon? I say, well, they left. They? I'm like, you're referring to her as two people. Well, she is two people. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a rumor out there that Triple H might interfere in the Goldberg Kevin Owens title match at the upcoming WWE Fastlane. Let's see what good mic work commentary has to say about this right quick, and then we're gonna rip it apart. No, I'm just kidding. We like good mic work. He good friend of the show. Great guy. I know I sound like Trump when I say that. Oh, good man, great guy. He's a great man. What's your country's credit card number? Trump, we're not paying for the wall. Quit calling. Anyway.
Hook me up with the likes. I would definitely appreciate it. Please share the video and always comment in the comment section below and give me any opinions you want about WWE or anything I talk about in this commentary. We're going to start with Raw first before I get
too loud.
George, Ivan, and Nicole. This was a pretty decent show again. I mean, it wasn't great, just like a lot of Raws. It's not perfect. It's 3 hours. It's boring sometimes. But for the most part, I don't think this was a bad Raw. And I would have to say now, I guess at least the last 3 or 4 weeks, Raw has been decent. It seems like it's been getting more positive reviews than negative. And tonight was no different.
I'll tell you something I like from Raw, and that was the opening segment with Kevin Owens, sitting in the middle of the ring, contemplating, and he was saying, 20 years ago when I was a kid watching Goldberg, I was like, not impressed. And all I know is if I can get past 90 seconds, I could beat Goldberg. Goldberg's not going to run through me. And what did he say? He said, it's not you're next, you're finished or something like that. I forget what it was now, but he said it's your last, or I don't know. Anyway.
And we had what could have potentially been a stinker of a main event that turned out to be actually pretty decent. So normally when I talk about Raw and SmackDown, I kind of bounce around. Why don't we go somewhat in order this time? So Raw opened, of course, with a recap of what took place last week between Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens and the whole Festival of Friendship segment and the big turning of Kevin Owens on Chris Jericho and the whole deal. I went back and watched that segment again late last week and was even more appreciative of it the second time. It was just such a great combination of awesome and sadness all at the same time. And it's something that's rare these days to see. And what was cool about Raw tonight is that Kevin Owens opened up the show sitting down in a chair in the ring, completely dark, wearing a suit. Seems like he kind of underwent an attitude change a little bit, kind of like what I mentioned last week, that he's probably going to be more like NXT Kevin Owens, maybe even like ROH Kevin Steen, instead of kind of the jokester that he's been with Chris Jericho, although he's been putting on some pretty damn good matches. I mean, despite all the goofy stuff he's been doing with Jericho, I mean, his match with Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble was fantastic. And he had a couple of wars defending the title throughout the fall, and the way he won the belt was fucking great. So Kevin Owens can still be Kevin Owens when he wants to be, but his association with Chris Jericho, I think, was maybe hurting his character a little bit, even though we all loved it as fans and were happy for him and Jericho that they were getting the opportunity to work together in this extremely entertaining way. It did kind of take away a little bit from the tough guy Kevin Owens image, and that seemed to kind of come back tonight. And now it makes a much more serious opponent for Goldberg. I've been talking about how Goldberg should probably win the title at Fastlane. At least now they're putting a little bit of doubt in your mind. And I'm not completely sold or completely convinced on the idea yet. So even though I think Brock and Goldberg should be a title match, most likely will be a title match, I'm not positive. So you guys are welcome to throw out any scenarios at me that you might think that they could do as an alternative to where Owens can leave the match as champion, but Goldberg can still stay just as strong as ever. Owens spent the majority of his promo talking about Goldberg and talking about how he's not afraid of him and he thinks he can beat him. He has a strategy. He knows exactly what to do. The longer a Goldberg match goes, the more it benefits his opponent. He even threw out some sort of line like he knows how to play the game. And we know his association with Triple H. You know, Triple H helped him win the title, and Triple H seemingly is the one that convinced Owens to do what he did to Jericho last week. At least that's the theory. So it's not out of the question that Triple H plays a role in this thing. You know, the Seth Rollins shit is up in the air. They're claiming now that he is going to miss his second straight WrestleMania, but he's also booked for Raw next week to talk about it. So maybe he comes out and swerves us all and says that he's going to be good to go, or maybe he announces that he truly is going to be out. And if that's the case, that means it frees up Triple H to do other shit with Samoa Joe, Kevin Owens, maybe interject himself in this Goldberg situation or something like that. So the door is wide open for tons of options, and they've got a lot of different ways they can go. And I guess we'll know more after next week. So next week, hopefully, I will be up here at my normal time to talk about Raw and SmackDown, and I will also include full Fastlane pay-per-view predictions in that commentary as well. So check that out next week, which will be probably episode 414. Okay. But another thing I liked about Kevin Owens' promo is that he spent the whole time talking about Goldberg and really didn't mention Jericho at all until the very end. And then finally he brings up Jericho, and as soon as he says his name, he just drops the mic and leaves. I like it. He offered no explanation whatsoever, made the fans wait through his long promo on Goldberg to get to the Jericho stuff, and then didn't say a word and walked away. It was awesome. And later on, he's actually leaving the building right after that. And Mick Foley stops him and says, "Where are you going? You got a match tonight against Sami Zayn." So we were going to get Sami Zayn and Owens later on.
Okay, well, yeah, the way he did that, that promo was excellent, man. That's the Kevin Owens from copyright. That's the Kevin Owens from NXT, where he turned on his brother Sami Zayn, and he was real dark, and I agree with that. Kevin Owens was more. I like him more serious and more of a serious heel, more of an assassin type, versus him being comedic with Jericho. Even though that was good, that was some good stuff, him and Jericho. But I do like the more serious Kevin Owens, and he has to be for Goldilocks to take him seriously. and that was another joke, because we talked earlier about how back in school we used to pick on WCW, WWF, Fanboy Wars, and that was another one, Goldilocks, I believe. But yeah.
Oh yeah, of course.
So I don't think Triple H is going to interfere in the Goldberg Kevin Owens match. Now that it does sound interesting if Kevin Owens turned babyface and he wanted to have a match with Triple H at WrestleMania because Seth Rollins is out. But I don't want to see Kevin Owens as a babyface. But I guess you could do that, you know. But I just don't. It don't make any sense. Why would Triple H just suddenly turn on and that would turn but Goldberg heel in a sense? I don't know. That don't make too much sense to me. That title was misleading on this website here on TV. Well, shout out to TV Tracks, but sometimes their titles are misleading, and because it said, "Will Triple H assist Goldberg or cost Kevin Owens the title or whatever?" So anyway, so I don't think that's going to happen. Goldberg's winning the title because Vince wants Brock Goldberg to be the main event. And I don't want that to be the main event, but if it is the main event, yes, I want the title in the main event because I'm all about putting that title in the main event. And we'll be right back with Bill's thoughts. And we are back. So what's your thoughts about that? You think the outcome is pretty much set in stone Goldberg wins the Universal title, and plans are pretty much the same for Mania.
Well, dude, I firmly understand what the guy was talking about as far as praising Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens has always been a master of working the mic. I have also loved Kevin Owens' little Twitter war that he's had with Goldberg, going back and forth with Goldberg, telling him about how he hopes his opponent's not a door where he won't run into it and bust his head open. He called Goldberg a moron and all this stuff.
I didn't know that.
He was having a Twitter war with Goldberg back and forth the last couple of weeks, and it's been funny setting up. So it's not only setting it up in the ring, but there's also that social media setting where on Twitter where Kevin Owens, because I'm subscribed to Kevin Owens, and I've seen a ton of his tweets to Goldberg, and Goldberg's been tweeting him back and forth. I just don't see it happening with Kevin Owens retaining. Goldberg, to me, is going to end up winning in a squash fashion, much like he's been doing. I don't feel like Triple H is going to have nothing to do. Now, I know Triple H is trying to set up his NXT stable between Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe, and I'm going to like that when they come up. But I feel like I don't see why Triple H would have anything to do, because Triple H is going to have his hands full. Maybe at Mania, possibly not, but I know it's going to not have nothing to do with Goldberg, because Goldberg is going to go on to battle Brock at WrestleMania, unless it makes no sense unless Goldberg is going to have a feud with Triple H later on. But we both know Seth Rollins is having his feud with Triple H, so we'll see. But I just don't see Kevin Owens retaining his title against Goldberg.
I don't either, but I follow Kevin Owens on Twitter as well, but I follow so many people on Twitter because I'm just I treat it as I guess like I don't Twitter's not like Facebook to me. It's not personal, so I follow anybody and everybody, just like not everybody, but because a lot of times I'll follow people just to get a follow back. Yeah, I just use Twitter for marketing, so sometimes I'll miss what KO tweets, but what I'll do is I'll bookmark his Twitter on my PC here, and I'll favorite him on my Twitter app, because that's hilarious. Him going after Goldberg on Twitter. That's going to be the best part of the feud. Because think about it, Bill. You don't never see Bill on Raw that much. You're not going to see him on Raw that much, and he don't cut that good promos. So these Twitter battles might be the best part of the whole damn feud. Can you imagine the video package before the match, and it just shows screenshots from Twitter?
That's where it's so funny, man. Their feud has been so awesome, and that social media though has that takes it to a new level. And Kevin Owens is always good for having remarks on Twitter.
Clever comebacks,
He's known for blocking tons of people. So
I don't blame him,
man. I think this is good for them to carry it over into social media, to have that feud further go on in that situation as well.
I agree. See, Kevin Owens, one time somebody was arguing with him on Twitter, and Kevin Owens just replied and said, "Dude, you got like 5 followers. Who are you?" And it's just funny, man. He's smart and clever. But okay, well, that's all we got for you today. And thanks for watching. And where's the best place to watch, Bill? Pro Wrestling.
Right here, you go to, on my site, you go to Pro Wrestling Unleashed with Bill Mack. And on Brandon's site, you check out Brandon's WWE Report.
That's it, folks. Take care.
Yeah.